Two Chairs No Waiting, episode number 343, Ronnie Schell from the Mayberry Squad Car Rendezvous, 1996. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the fine folks over at Weaver's Department Store. Drop by weaversdepartmentstore.com and pick up some of the amazing Mayberry things they got there. I know you're going to enjoy them. One of the big items that is selling really well right now is the Mayberry Athletic Department t-shirt. It's the property of the Mayberry Athletic Department. You can not only get the t-shirt, there's also a sweatshirt, so you can wear it right on into winter. So drop by over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners just like you. Hello, everybody. I'm Alan U.S.M., and I want to welcome you here to Two Chairs No Waiting, your Andy Griffith Show fan podcast. And this episode, we're going to be hearing from one of the, well, he's not a regular, I suppose you would say, but he appeared twice on the Andy Griffith Show. He is a definite friend of Mayberry. He's been to Mayberry Days many times and other Mayberry events throughout the years. Ronnie Schell. Now, you may know him from Gomer Pyle as Corporal Duke Slater, but he was also on the Andy Griffith Show in the episode The Foster Lady, when Aunt Bee was the Foster furniture polish lady. That was the color episode. And then later, he was also in Emmett's Anniversary, was the other one. He was a guy selling the fur coats to Emmett. So you may remember him from there. So he's been on, his name was Bernie the Furrier on that episode. And he was Jim Martin on the Foster Lady. He was the director of the commercials. So I hope you guys definitely remember him. I know you do. And one of the reasons we're talking about him is he's going on the Mayberry cruise with us this year. And I'm anxious to get to spend more time with him, and we will be doing an interview during the cruise. So we're going to come back with even more material from Ronnie Schell. But I wanted to get you all excited and ready to go, because not only is he going on the Mayberry cruise in October of 2015, he's also going to be at Mayberry Days in just a few weeks. So I want to encourage you to go to that as well. So let's don't hold this up. I want to get everything going, and we will join him at the Mayberry Squad Car Rendezvous. Now, he's going to be on stage. He's on the radio in this particular clip with the Good Morning Mayberry guys. And we've had those guys on before, Dennis Hasty and Mark Golden. They're both part of a radio program that was on at the time. And again, this is 1996. And so they're interviewing Ronnie. Now, during this interview, you'll hear there's a couple of clips or cuts, I guess, that's in the original video. So it's the best I have, most complete version of the interview. So there's a few places where it kind of jumps in conversation, but it's not very many, and I hope you won't be too distracted by those. So without further ado, let's head over and hear from Ronnie Schell. They're joining him as they talk about the episodes of the Andy Griffith Show that he was on. So let's see. Let's head over there and get things going.
Sales, right. And the other one, Aunt Bee was doing a commercial, and I was the director.
Absolutely
TV
right.
Director. Oh, you right.
Oh, sure.
You don't have to have copies, do you?
I think I do have copies. We'll get together after the show.
Then we make a trade.
Now, speaking of copies, what is this?
Oh, this is one of the latest things I did. It's a new video for all these people that like fishing. Well, actually, you don't even have to like fishing, but it's great for birthdays and stuff like that. It's a video called Dorf Goes Fishing, starring Tim Conway and myself, and I got a special on it. The producers knew I was coming.
Dressed the crowd. You're from San Francisco, of course.
Yeah.
Great state to be from when you want to get into acting. Tell us about your desire. What age did you know that you wanted to be an actor or a comedian or both, of course?
Well, actually, my ambition was not to be in show business. I wanted to be a professional baseball player.
I read that.
Yeah, and I was short when I was in high school, and when you're short, you should be fast, right? I was short and slow.
That kind of.
I could hit, but it'd take me an hour to get to first base.
That has a way of.
And so I played in high school, then I played in college, and that's about it. I thought, well, gee, what am I going to do now? I have all my ambitions into baseball, and I'm not going to make it. So one of the guys that I knew from a local station in San Francisco said, you know, people come out to the game not to see you hit or catch a ball. They come out to laugh because you're so funny. And I said, really? And he said, yeah. I said, why don't you let me be your manager, and we'll go down to this local nightclub in San Francisco called the Purple Onion. So I went down to and you know, audition you. So I went down there and I signed on. They let me do an audition. They liked me, so I signed on with Phyllis Diller, who was,
I've heard of her.
yeah, she was playing there at the time, and a folk group who was very popular at the time called the Kingston Trio.
Hanging down your head, Tom.
Hanging down your head, Tom Dooley. So they hired me, and I stayed for 5 months, and then I finished my college, and I went on the road with this Kingston Trio, and as we say, the rest is history.
It's history.
Then about the 4th year, I was working a nightclub down in Fresno, California, and my manager of the time called me up and said, listen, they're going to do a spin-off of the Andy Griffith Show called Gomer Pyle, and would you like to play the part of his best friend? And I said, well, I don't know. He said, well, come on down and audition. So I went down, auditioned, and they signed me up, and I stayed there for 5 years.
But now, the one thing I always wanted to ask you was, you left Gomer Pyle.
I left after the 3rd year of Gomer Pyle. I left because I got an offer to do a show about 2 radio personalities
with Joby Baker.
With Joby Baker,
right.
And it was called Good Morning World. But who played my girlfriend?
Julie Parrish? Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn, yeah.
Right.
Goldie Hawn played, I'll never forget it because I was not married at the time, and Goldie used to come over, and she wasn't married, and she used to come over to my apartment and rehearse every night. She played my girlfriend, and she never wanted to learn her lines much. She said, I want to be spontaneous. And I said, Goldie, take it from a pro. You're never going to make it if you don't get some good learning habits on how to be an actress and learn your lines. 2 years later, she won the Academy Award for Cactus Flower, and I was working at a toilet in Omaha, Nebraska. So that's
well, of course, you left that and came back to.
And I came back. I was promoted to corporal the 5th year.
That's right.
And I came back and I worked on Gomer the 5th year, and then Jim wanted to do a variety show because, as you know, he's a good singer.
Sure.
So he said, well, you could come on the variety show with me. So then I went on the variety show for 2 years with CBS, and very few, you know, people don't know these things, but I know you two guys do, or you wouldn't have me here.
Well, we have to have you here. As part of the.
You didn't have to say that. But the Jim Neighbors Hour was the highest rated variety show on CBS in 70 and 71, or 69 and 70, I can't remember. And that was higher than the Carol Burnett Show, Glenn Campbell, Sonny and Cher, and all those shows.
Which was like, at that time, was a
lot of variety shows.
A lot of variety shows at that time going on. Glenn Campbell was pretty popular, too.
He was popular.
Absolutely.
Glenn Campbell.
Now, you played the guy on that, the drunk that fell down the steps.
Yeah.
And, a lot of people remember that.
Yeah, in fact, I have a video I'm showing tonight at the show here. It has 3 of my falls down the stairs.
Yeah. But now some of the other stuff people may not know. You were on That Girl.
Yeah, I played Marlo Thomas's agent on That Girl, and that was sort of an interesting story. The first year of That Girl, they hired this guy to play the agent, and they didn't think he was any good. They didn't think he was funny enough, so they fired him and hired me. And who they fired was George Carlin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, really. Good old TV, huh?
So I was off and on That Girl for a couple of years, and then after we finished the variety show, then I started doing Disney films. I did 7 Disney films. It was ironic that I did Goldie Hawn's first television series, which was Good Morning World, and I was in my first film was Kurt Russell, her lover.
Yeah, right.
Was that the Strongest Man in the World? It was called Strongest Man in the World.
Well, now, the one I remember, and what a lot of people might remember, is weren't you the cat from outer space? The voice?
And therein is another interesting story that you probably want to hear. I was the voice of the cat in The Cat from Outer Space. I was also in the film. I played a sergeant. I played a sergeant to Harry Morgan. You remember Harry Morgan?
MASH? Yeah. Absolutely.
He hits his wife. Did you hear about that?
That's current. Yeah, you're up on current news.
Boy, I never expected from mild-mannered Harry. Anyway, I played a sergeant in that, but they also wanted me to do the voice of the cat. So what they do, if you ever watch the movie or you see it on video, is that's my voice as the cat, and they dubbed my own voice They put somebody else's bus when it was me.
They were afraid it was going to mix. And
no, they're afraid the kids would say, "Wait a minute,
ain't that the cat?"
Sorry, that's a cat. So that was that one. Then I went on. Then I did one with Don called Gus.
Yeah, about the mule
that kicked
right.
field goals. That was
but probably your biggest claim to fame and your greatest is got which shirt tail were you? Do you remember the shirt tail?
Yes, I was a shirt tail.
That's right. Remember the little
3 years.
One was a little monkey and one was a little bear or something.
If you named them, I could tell you.
Tide?
No.
I know you weren't Bogey. Or were you Bogey? Did you do the Bogart voice?
The honest to God, no, I didn't do Bogey. That was Fred Travelina. I don't remember what my name was.
I don't recall which one.
I was also 3 Smurfs.
No kidding.
I was pushover Smurf. The guys they used to. I was the Smurf who ran the voice of the Smurf who ran the newspaper, and I was Jokey Smurf who used to do one-liners.
Jokey Smurf,
Jokey
absolutely.
I want to talk about your the things you do for the big corporations. Let's kind of give them a little plug here while we got you on the air. They have you traveling all over the country.
I travel around the country. I do characters, and I write for companies like the United States Farm Bureau out of Des Moines, and I do their conventions. In fact, we went to Munich last year. By the way, I thought, I am so American because, my wife would always say, we've got to go to Munich and Budapest, and we went to Prague. I thought, oh, that would be delightful. Those are the countries of Europe. I couldn't wait to get back to the United States. The air conditioning is terrible in Marin County. You've heard of Marin County. And I got 3 D's and an F. And I said, well, that happens when you concentrate on just one subject. You're going to screw up in probably one. So you have to figure out which one I got the D in, because that's the one I concentrated on. It was very, very involved. Not very funny, but a true story.
Now let's talk about Gomer Pyle real brief. Some of the folks that appeared on Gomer Pyle, William Christopher, which a lot of people don't...
yeah, he later played the...
Father Mulcahy.
Father Mulcahy on MASH, of course.
Yeah.
Roy Stewart, of course you mentioned him a while ago.
Roy Stewart is now writing musicals. And let's see, who else?
He was big. Do you remember Roy Stewart got the Dr. Scholl's foot powder gig? He did that for a while, and the people would pass out. Yeah, a lot of people don't remember that, but I thought that was great. Of course, Ted Bessel.
Teddy Bessel, who became Marlo Thomas's boyfriend, and that girl played Frankie, the first... Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie.
Yeah, Frankie.
Right.
It's a very interesting thing. I think you'll find this very interesting. Fred... you always have a friend who, whenever you're in places that you shouldn't laugh, you start laughing.
Right.
Ted Bessel and I could not keep a straight face when we were working together. And if you watch the Gomer Pyle reruns, if you watch very closely and we're not talking, if you look at us in the background, you can actually see us breaking up. There were 3 episodes in which we went out on a boat. Gomer saves a submarine, the grudge fight, and everything. And Ted and I just laughed for 3 weeks. And it actually, if you look real closely, fortunately, most of the people are watching Jim and the Sergeant, but there we are in the background, trying to keep a straight face.
I've watched Gomer Pyle all my life. My all-time favorite one is the one where the guys take the pictures of Gomer and put him in the magazine with the girls. And you're laying on the bed and you're looking at this girly magazine. You're going, gee, the guy's a Marine too. Oh man, look at this. He looks kind of like you, Gome.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He looks exactly. And then you jump off the bunk bed.
I'd forgotten about that.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably the best one of all.
Yeah. You do so many of those, you forget them. And like someone asked Don if he watches Andy Griffith shows. And what happens is after a while, it's like you'll look at old photographs. You only look at them so long, and then you say, well, I saw those photographs.
Right, you saw them.
And then you forget. Then occasionally you go back. Like last night they showed clips at dinner of this Andy Griffith show that I did, and I had never seen it. So that was the first time. That was...
Yeah. And it's hard to believe, hard for the people to believe you've never seen that.
Yeah.
They think, that you know every single word, that you remember every, every...
Well, this Dorf Goes Fishing that I've been plugging, I had never seen that.
Seriously?
We can put it in later. You got it.
So you're one of those kind of actors that don't like to watch yourself? Or?
Don't like to watch myself. I think I look like Clark Gable, the late Clark Gable, and I don't.
Well, now see, in Gomer Pyle, you did Clark Gable.
I know. He was my hero.
Now, that's the episode where you come back to Gomer Pyle because they made you the corporal and you got to take over.
And when I initially walked into the room, I remember that they said, "Oh, do some of those impressions."
Right.
And I did Gable and James Cagney.
Right. And of course, Gomer loved it.
Yeah. You guys play Jeopardy?
Yeah, I've seen it a million
You know how
times.
Play Jeopardy is, where you give the answer?
Right, yeah, forever. I love it. I can't wait to see it.
You going to see it tonight?
Yes, sir.
You'll see it tonight.
All right. Ronnie Schell, ladies and gentlemen. Big hand for Ronnie Schell. Duke from Gomer Pyle Show. We are going to take a break.
So there we are. That's Ronnie Schell, and he was on Good Morning Mayberry. They're from Cincinnati, Ohio. He was. This was all part of the Mayberry Squad Car Rendezvous, 1996. Now, he talked about a couple of things in there that I wanted to follow up on. He talked about being in the movie The Cat from Outer Space. I don't know, guys, if y'all have seen this movie or not, but The Cat from Outer Space was a Walt Disney movie, and I can remember it because he could actually talk. Now, he talked about playing another role on there. He was the sergeant. He was a sergeant on there, and I've grabbed some screenshots here that I'll try to place on our Facebook page. But if you look really closely over in the background, you'll see Ronnie Schell. There he is. He's a live action, not only as the voice of the cat, but also right there as, well, himself. He's right there. So let's see. And the other thing he talked about was Shirt Tales. Now, Shirt Tales was a cartoon, probably for kids, I believe it was. I never watched it. It was probably after my time. But Shirt Tales, he played the character, and it was called Rick Raccoon. He was that voice. So just to follow up on some of the questions they asked there. Now, there were a few things, as I told you, that got clipped off there. I don't really know what they were talking about when he got clipped. Obviously, he was talking about making grades in school at one point and a few things like that. Ronnie is a extremely funny man. And if you ever get to see him perform in person, he has a delivery to me that is very much similar to Johnny Carson, the way he delivers the jokes, because he has this, you know how Johnny Carson, if you're old enough to remember this, he would always tell a joke and then kind of look off to the side and, you know, seeing if everybody got the joke. Ronnie does that as well. So it's always a lot of fun for me to see him perform. He's a really nice guy. He's been very much a friend to fans of the Andy Griffith Show. And he's also been down and helped us raise money before at Eagles Wings of Tuscaloosa, which is a community for adults with special needs. He's an all-around good guy, and he eats extremely healthy. Yeah, he eats a very healthy food, makes his own peanut butter. Doesn't buy peanut butter at the store, makes it. So anyway, Ronnie's a great guy, and if you get a chance, I hope you'll go to see him at Mayberry Days. We got a lot of folks coming to Mayberry Days. Of course, the big news is Barbara Eden is going to be there, along with Clint Howard, both their first appearances. But I definitely want to recommend that you take time to go and see Ronnie Schell while you're there. So, Ronnie, thank you for all that. We've got a few other things probably going to be coming out of that particular Mayberry Squad Car Rendezvous, because there were a few other kind of big names, like Arlene Galanka, who played Millie. She was there. And then somebody you may have heard of, he was there as well, Don Knotts. Yeah, that's right. Don Knotts was there that same year. So the three of them were there, and it was a blast, a great time to be there. They had a huge show in the evening that year. That was the 4th year of the Squad Car Rendezvous, and that was the only time they ever had a big show like that down at a theater. And it's because they had Don Knotts there. He drew such crowds. It was absolutely amazing. So we'll hear some probably next week from Don Knotts while they're at the Squad Car Nationals. And I hope you guys will tune back in to hear from Don next week. So I would love to hear from you. If you'll give me a call at 888-684-8415. Let me know what you thought about it. Have you got any memories from Ronnie Schell? Have you been to see him in person? I'd love to hear them. If you've got a good question that you'd like for me to ask when I get to interview him this coming October, I'd like to hear that too. So, folks, take some time. Email me. Call me. You can email me at floyd@mayberry.com. Call me at 888-684-8415. Or drop by twochairsnowaiting.com and leave a note there. Don't forget to head over to weaversdepartmentstore.com. Support our sponsor. Buy you a t-shirt. Buy something. Till then, till next time, folks, we'll see you right here on Two Chairs No Waiting.